going to show you how to divide algebraic fractions. So in this example it says 3x plus 3 over 2x plus 10 must be divided by this fraction here, x plus 1 over 6x plus 30. So just like when you're dividing fractions usually, what you need to do is change the divide symbol to multiplication. And when you do that, you need to remember to flip the second fraction upside down. So if I rewrite this question, it would become 3x plus 3 over 2x plus 10. Okay, so the first fraction stays the same. Then multiply by 6x plus 30 over x plus 1. Okay, so this fraction, I've just switched it upside down. Next, what you need to do is factorize everything you can, okay? So factorize this numerator, this denominator, and the same thing over here. So when I say factorize, that just means taking out the highest common factor and inserting brackets if you can. So if we were to factorize this numerator, well, the highest common factor in these two terms is 3, okay? They're both divisible by 3. So that is the number that will go in front of the brackets. Inside the brackets, it becomes x plus 1. Okay, can you see it's still the same thing? 3 times x is 3x and 3 times 1 is 3. So I factorised the numerator. So you have to do that all the way through the question. So if I factorise this denominator, I get 2 brackets x plus 5. And over here, if I factorise the numerator, I get 6 brackets x plus 5. And underneath, I can't factorise this, it just stays as x plus 1, okay? So if you need help with factorising, I do have another lesson on that, so you might want to go practice that if you're not sure about what I just did here. Next, what you can do is group it all together, okay? When you're multiplying fractions, you're just multiplying the numerators together and multiplying the denominators together. So I'm going to do that next. So if I look at the numerators, I can see there's a number 3 here and a number 6. If I multiply those numbers together, I get 18. The x plus 1 and the x plus 5 are also being multiplied with each other, and I can just leave them inside their brackets, okay? Because when you see brackets, it means they're being multiplied with each other. Okay, so that's the numerator simplified, if you like. Underneath, if I group it all together, it becomes 2 multiplied by x plus 5, and then in the other brackets, x plus 1. Okay, so the only thing I've really added for the denominators is I've just popped brackets around this term here, because we're multiplying all of this with 2 and x plus 5. Okay, so remember to include the brackets here. Now we can simplify this further. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Okay, so first I've just divided the numbers. Next, if we look at the x plus 1 term on top, can you see it's being divided by itself underneath? X plus 1 divided by x plus 1 is just 1. Whenever you divide a term by itself, the answer is 1, so they cancel each other out. Likewise with the x plus 5. X plus 5 divided by x plus 5 is just 1, okay? Whenever you divide a term by itself, you get 1. So, because they've all cancelled, the answer is just 9. Okay, so here I've chosen an example that's a little bit more difficult, but we're going to use exactly the same method as the one I just showed you to divide the algebraic fractions. So remember, the first thing you need to do when you're dividing the fractions is change the division symbol to multiplication. And then the second fraction, this one here, you need to switch upside down, okay? So I've just rewritten the question here. Now, the second step is to factorise everything you can. So if we factorise this numerator here, it becomes 3 brackets x plus 2, okay? 3 is the highest common factor in 3 and 6, so that's what goes in front of the brackets. And then 3 times x gives you 3x, and 3 times 2 gives you 6. Underneath, well, we can't factorise this term, okay? There is no common factor, so it just stays the same. This numerator we can factorise because there's a common letter, x, okay? So if I take the common letter x in front of the brackets, it becomes this, okay? And then finally, if I factorise this quadratic term here, I should get x plus 2, and then in the second bracket it's 2x plus 5. Again, if you need help with factorising, go and have a look at my other lessons, especially when you're factorising more difficult quadratics like this, when there's a number in front of the x squared. It might help you just to practice that before having a go at these questions. Okay, so next I'm going to group everything together. Remember, first we look at the numerators. So we're going to multiply these together. So if I look at the terms in front of the bracket, so 3 and x, and multiply those together, I get 3x. And the brackets can just stay as they are, okay? The x plus 2 can stay in brackets, and likewise with the x minus 4. So I'm just grouping those numerators together so that it becomes one whole fraction. Underneath, we're multiplying this denominator by these terms here. So just remember, when it's a term like this, when there are two things to think about, pop it in brackets, because you're multiplying all of this denominator, x minus 4, with all of this here. Okay, so those terms stay within their original brackets. Now let's see what we can simplify, okay? I can see there's an x plus 2 on the numerator and also on the denominator. So when I divide x plus 2 by itself, x plus 2, I get 1. So they cancel each other out. Likewise with the x minus 4 term, there's another x minus 4 over here. So when I divide it by itself, it gives 1, okay? And then if we look carefully, there's nothing else that cancels, okay? So on the top, on the numerator, we're left with 3x. And underneath, we have 2x plus 5.